If your hand has been swollen since your stroke, there's a reason it's not going down. And it's not the one you've been told. Maybe it's been a few weeks, maybe a few months. The fingers are puffy and the back of the hand as well. And when you try to make a fist or push your fingers into the fist, you get this full tight feeling, like there's no more room left to move. So you did what you're told. You elevated it, you used your compression glove, and you may have even started doing some, edema massage, trying to get that swelling out on your own. But it probably hasn't gotten anywhere. It may have even gotten worse. So here's the part that nobody has explained. Elevation, compression, and massage, none of these treatments are wrong for swelling, but they're just helpers. They were never meant to be the actual thing that clears the swelling out of your hand and arm. So when you use these helpers as the main event for getting the swelling out, you're gonna get exactly what you have been getting. A little bit of relief for about an hour or so, and then right back to being puffy. So let me show you exactly what's happening inside of your swollen hand and why I won't let you just write it off as just swelling. So that puffiness isn't just sitting under your skin on the top of the hand. It's inside the hand. It fills the spaces around the joint, the tendons, and the fuller those spaces get, the harder it is to move anything in the hand. And here's the connection that nobody's drawn for you. Movement is actually what clears that fluid in the first place. So if your hand isn't moving much or isn't moving at all, the fluid has nothing to push it out, so it just sits in the hand. And that's the loop you're stuck in. The less it moves, the more swelling it gets. The more swelling it gets, the less it moves. If your hand is mostly paralyzed right now, then this is probably hitting you the hardest, because the swelling isn't a side issue you're gonna deal with later. It's actually tangled up in the exact thing you're trying to get back. So here's what this means for your recovery itself. So your brain learns how to use your hand again through movement, but a hand that's swollen and stuck can't signal signals to the brain. So the swelling just isn't uncomfortable. It's sitting directly between you and getting your hand back. So every week that your hand stays swollen is just another week that you don't get back. I've worked with stroke survivors in their homes for over 10 years, and hand swelling is one of the more common things that I walk into. And it's also one of the more misunderstood. Not because anyone did anything wrong, but because the real reason it happens almost never gets explained correctly. So let me explain it. And once you see what's actually going on in there and what to do and what to stop doing, it's gonna make a lot more sense. So let's go back to what swelling normally is. Almost everyone, survivors, families, even a lot of clinicians, file hand swelling under the same category of just injury. You sprain your ankle, it swells, you rest it, and it goes down. And that's the model in everyone's head. And honestly, that makes complete sense, because for an injury, it's exactly right. Rest, elevate, and wait for it to clear. So after a stroke, you reach for the same playbook. Of course you do. It's the only one anyone has ever given you. But the swelling in your hand isn't the same kind of swelling. And that's the whole problem. But here's what's actually going on. Your body is always making a small amount of fluid in your tissues. That's normal. It happens everywhere in the body all day long. And your body has its own system for clearing it back out. It's called your lymphatic system. So think of it as like a drainage system for your hand and body. But here's the part that changes everything. That drainage system doesn't have its own pump. Like your heart pumps throughout the body, your lymphatic system doesn't have its own pump. So what actually moves the fluid out? Well, it's your muscles. So every time you contract a muscle in your hand, arm, every grip, every reach, every small movement, that causes muscle contractions, which squeezes the drainage vessels next to it and pushes the fluid out. So your movement is the pump. That's the engine. There's no other one. So now you probably see it. After a stroke, the hand stops moving, so the pump stops running. The fluid keeps showing up like it always does, but nothing's there to push it back out anymore. So it pools and it sits, and that's how the hand swells. So if movement is the pump, the fix sounds obvious, right? Just move the hand or squeeze a ball or push the swelling up towards your shoulder to get it out. Just get that fluid moving. And this is exactly where almost everyone gets it wrong, because that drainage system that I told you about earlier, the lymphatic system, is incredibly particular about how it's stimulated. It responds to one specific kind of input in a specific amount of pressure, in a specific direction, in a specific order. So if you get it right, that fluid is going to move out and stay out. And if you get it wrong, too much pressure, wrong direction, you're not just going to waste your time. You can actually make the swelling worse in your hand. And it's why the massage you may have been shown can quietly backfire. Because most people are taught massages that are good for inflammation type of swelling, but not lymphatic type of swelling. So lymphatic type of swelling needs a specific kind of massage to be able to push that fluid out. So there is a right way to run that pump, and you can do it with just one working hand. And I've already got a video on that walks you through the steps to help you start clearing that swelling. The link for that is in the description. And in the meantime, if you've been stuck and you're just not sure about what stage of recovery your hand is in, then that's the first thing to sort out. Because what your hand needs depends on where it actually is in the stroke recovery timeline. And I built a free quiz that walks you through it in just about 2 minutes. And it's gonna point you to your next right step. The link for that is in the description as well. So your hand isn't done, the swelling is not permanent, it's just a pump that stopped running. And pumps can be turned back on. You just have to do it in the right way.